It is so easy to get easily influenced. And giving myself the platform, not everybody else. I'm giving myself the platform to speak up for myself. And I call the shots. I don't want to be influenced by anybody else anymore. Hey guys! Oh my gosh, y'all. We are in November. We're in November. That means next month is Christmas. Well, in a couple weeks, it's Thanksgiving. Can y'all believe? My main question to y'all is, have y'all been doing what y'all said y'all were going to do at the beginning of the year? No? Hold yourself accountable. I am not, because I swore up and down I was going to learn sign language, but that just was not in the cards this year. Like, I had other goals. Anyways. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Shakoya Clark. I'm your grad school bestie in all things lifestyle, college, and mental health. And if you're not new here, thank you so much for coming back, because I missed you so much.
When they say she get it from her mama say you fuck her right, body rude is fun polite, tell me.
So for the month of November, I'm starting different series on, like, of course on YouTube, but also through my short form content. And today's video is part of a new series called Navigating November. Doesn't that sound exciting, y'all? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Last month, I really put in a lot of work. October really was that girl. It really was that month. But November, I'm coming so much harder, and I'm coming up with so much content that y'all are just not ready for. But Navigating November, what is it? Let's talk about it. Navigating November, it's just me sharing my real and raw insights of life as I'm navigating my life in my 20s. I'm 23, if y'all don't know. I am 23 years old. I'm a Leo. And so I'm basically just sharing things from mental health to personal growth. So all of that will be tied into this series. And I believe it's either a 3-part series or a 4-part series, but we will see what the month is looking like. But for sure, at least a 3-part series. So, but in today's video, as you can tell by the title, I am talking about some of the biggest lessons that I have learned in my life while I'm in my 20s, and things that I've definitely had to embrace and really come accustomed to. So if this sounds like it's going to resonate with you while you're in your 20s, and really it can be any part of your life, whether you're 30s, your 40s, your 50s, because at any point in time, change is always happening and you're always learning. But I'm in my 20s, so we're talking about my 20s. So if this resonates with you, please stick around and let's go ahead and get into the video. So first up is embracing change and uncertainty. Change has been a part of my life forever, and I'm sure it's been a part of your life forever. But for me personally, change has been really hard for me. From a young age, I was always moving. Now the house that I live in now was the final move, but I hated moving so much because it was such a big change. I was changing houses, rooms, schools, having new friends. Like, it was really difficult for me. And I used to envy my sister because she acted like change wasn't nothing. She was going up to people, being their friends super quick. If they didn't want to be her friend, she was on to the next. Like, I was so envious of her because she was always so accustomed to change. And a huge part of being in my 20s, I realized that I don't have to have my whole life planned out. I don't have to have everything planned out. And that was my issue as a youngster, as a child. You know, I had thought I wanted to have everything planned out, and just to up and move, it messed up the plan that I had in my head. So even in my 20s, I'm still realizing that I don't have to have every single part of my life planned out. And you know, it is fun to think about, you know, oh, I want this. I want 2 daughters, and I want 3 sons, and I want a husky and a Yorkie poo or a cockadoodle. Like, it is fun to do all that, but growing accustomed to change has helped me realize that life has its twists and turns, and you can plan everything out that you want to, but life is going to throw you whatever it wants to throw at you. And I can't even say you have to be prepared every single time, because you're not going to be prepared every single time. And I learned this in my grad school program as well. If you don't know, I am in grad school to become a mental health counselor, basically a therapist. But you can plan out a counseling session all you want. Oh, we're going to talk about this. This is the technique we're going to use. But the client is going to lead the session. So you have to be ready. And again, I can't even say you're going to be ready every single time, but thinking on the fly really helps. But anyways, I've learned this in my grad school program and in life, that things are just going to happen. Things are going to come up. Things are just going to happen. And you're not going to be prepared for it. And that is okay. As long as you're open to change and uncertainty, then you're always prepared. You may not be prepared for this exact situation, but you're prepared to move on and continue on with your life, because you're always open to uncertainty and to change. Holding on to things that feel so familiar to us can hold us back. Like say this circle right here. I don't know if y'all can see it, but say this is your circle right here. Well, say this is my comfort circle right here, and I just stick here for the rest of my life. All of this, look at this open space. Like, and it's so closed off. That's such a good point. Like, this is closed off. I'm not even open to new opportunities because my fist is closed. But when I open my fist up, okay, the comfort zone is opening. But when it's like this, there's room for opportunities and change. Sticking to the things that we know, it can be detrimental. So I definitely lean into discomfort, and I see it as an opportunity for growth. And that goes into a lot of my videos that I've already posted, such as embracing negativity, embracing failure, because that can be a life lesson, and all of that good stuff. One way I've really been embracing change and uncertainty, like I said in my last video, y'all go ahead and check that out, the power of positivity, is reframing my mindset. So instead of thinking, what is the worst thing that could possibly happen? The question that I ask myself instead of that negative question is, what if it turns out exactly how I want it to turn out? Or if I've done something wrong, like I don't think to myself, oh my gosh, I'm the worst person ever. I'm not built for this counseling stuff. This is not for me. This is so hard. And it's okay to have those thoughts, but again, like I said in my last video, always follow it up with something positive or open. It doesn't even have to be positive. It just has to be open. Okay, what can I do next time? How can I think about this situation differently? Another big lesson that I've learned in my 20s is building self-trust and independence. 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 Do you know what that means? Trusting myself has been... and it's like, if I can't trust myself, who should trust me, and why would I trust anybody else? Y'all are probably saying, well, what do you mean you don't trust yourself? But everybody does it. If you are second guessing yourself, that means you don't trust yourself. And that's normal. It's normal to second guess yourself. But going with my gut and trusting myself changed my life. I have to understand that I have to trust the choices that I make, and know that I am capable of handling whatever is coming my way when it comes to the choices that I have made. Building trust within yourself starts with going with your gut and standing 10 toes on the choices that you make, and not being influenced by anybody else. It's so easy, especially these days on the internet. It is so easy to get easily influenced. Trust and believe. My gut has always been telling me, girl, you do not need to buy that. We do not need to go to Target. We do not need to do this. We do not need to spend a whole bunch of money. But I'm so easily influenced that it's like, no, I do need this. I do need to just go to Target, because why not? When in reality, I don't need to do any of those things. And I think that, and I feel like I have to do those things because I'm so easily influenced on the internet. But nowadays, I'm trusting myself and giving myself the platform, not everybody else. I'm giving myself the platform to speak up for myself, and I call the shots. I don't want to be influenced by anybody else anymore. I call the shots in my life. I make the final decision, because when things get hard, I can rely on myself to get myself through it. I know what's best for me. That's self-trust. I know what's best for me. Nobody can tell me what's best for me. At the end of the day, any type of decision for your life, everybody's looking at you. And you should be looking at yourself. Well, should I do this? Should I be taking this medicine? Should I do this? Like, weighing your options. Only you know what's best for you. You are making the decisions at the end of the day. You have to trust yourself. And that is that's one of the lessons that I've learned in my 20s. Trusting myself and being independent. For a long time, I felt like I was codependent and dependent. So it's like, as I'm getting older, learning independence, it's almost like freeing. Like, oh, I don't have to look at you for the answer. I call the shots. That's the life that I want to live. That's the life that I currently live. Being free from looking around for validation or for the right answer. No, I'm looking at myself. There's a mirror right here. I'm looking at myself for the answer. You know, I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl's girl. But sometimes I do look at my mom for the answer, and she can say whatever she wants at this point. But at the end of the day, I have to call the shots. At the end of the day, I'm going to make the decision. She's not making the decision. Shakoya is calling the shots, and Shakoya is making the final decision. I feel like I talk about this next lesson in almost every video. And y'all know I'm huge on these things. Prioritizing mental health and setting boundaries. And those go hand in hand. And I say that in almost every video too. In my 20s, in my 20s, it took me becoming 20 years old to realize this. Not everybody deserves full access to my energy. And I've had to set boundaries with that. Like, no, don't show me that. I don't want to see that. I don't want to give my energy to that. And if there's something I genuinely, like, I'm having a conversation and it sounds rude, but it's just me setting a boundary. I don't want to give my energy to that. Simple. It is simple. And if people have a problem with it, then that means I'm sorry. That is just the way it has to be. I'm not giving my energy towards that. That's just the way it has to be. I want to protect my energy just the same way you want to protect yours, right? Boundaries are such a good way of protecting my energy and my mental health. They're a way of showing up for myself. One day I feel like it's going to be this month, but I don't know. One day I'm going to do a full video on boundaries because talk about life changing. But boundaries have definitely changed my life. I've said this multiple times and I will say it again, and again, day in and day out. Boundaries have changed my life. It has showed me who is for me, who is not for me, who supports me, who doesn't support me. The second I set a boundary and I see people's face become weird, I'm like, oh, you was trying to walk all over me. Cool. You was trying to take advantage of my energy. Cool. I see now. And then I just become more distant, or I cut them off completely. It is simple. Not everybody deserves direct access or full access to my energy. And that's not even just people. It's people through the screen, the media I intake. There are some things I can never turn a blind eye to, but some things I'm like, that's just so ignorant. Why would I consider continuing to listen to this? Like the podcast and the 20v1s and Pop the Balloon. Like, I cannot. That's not the energy. Like, I don't want to give my energy to that. And a lot of people come to me asking me about those videos, and I'm like, I don't want to give my energy to that. I just don't, because I don't find them entertaining. And that's okay. I have to tell people, like, I don't want to watch that, and that's fine. I think that some people feel like it is the end of the world when I set a boundary, or when people set boundaries. It's like, find someone else that's going to put up with that, because it's not going to be me. I promise you it's not going to be me. Other people will dive into that with you. Other people will let you say that. Other people will let you do that. Not me. It's just not going to happen. And by setting those boundaries, I have prioritized my mental health and myself, which are intertwined. So I have prioritized my mental health. Because before, when I wasn't setting boundaries, especially in high school, I was getting to a point where all around me was dark cloud and wasn't anybody seeing it. Nobody was seeing it. Nobody was concerned. None of that. So boundaries help me prioritize my mental health. And sometimes I have to have boundaries with stuff that I do enjoy. Like, I love social media. I'm not going to get it twisted. I love social media. I love talking about social media. But I have to understand that there are going to be some times and even some days where I have to step back and be like, I'm overwhelmed by this, so I just need to step back. And that's a privilege. 100%. That's a privilege that I get to have, that I get to step back from something that could be somebody's real reality. The last lesson that I wanted to go into was that learning that every opportunity is not for me. And that is such a hard pill for me to swallow. Ooh, because when I see an opportunity, I run and grab it and I run with it and I hold on to it. But sometimes holding on to the opportunity can be more detrimental than me just letting it go. I used to have a part-time job at a donut shop and I loved it to a point. I love the owners and I still love them so much. I love them so much. But the opportunity of working at the donut shop was just not for me. I loved the things it came with. I loved the free food. They would take us out to dinner a lot. They would buy us stuff. And I thought, oh, well, that overtakes everything else. No, that's not true. They were micromanaging me, just picking at the smallest things. I hated being there in the morning. The customers were rude. It was a lot. And eventually, I think this was for sure God, I eventually developed plantar fasciitis, and that was it. So that's when I had to quit the job and find something else, because it's essentially my feet became flat and my feet were hurting every time I went to work, to the point where I was limping. And it took me being in pain every single day at work, not the mental pain that I was already going through. It took physical pain for me to quit and find a different opportunity. And I'm telling you guys, don't let it get to that point to where you have to endure some type of physical pain or any type of pain for you to find a different opportunity. All of this to say is that not every single opportunity is for you. It's always good to take up an opportunity and look into it and see if it is for you, but you have to understand and you have to realize at some point, is this for me? Is this not for me? Is this beneficial for my future? Is this not beneficial for my future? And move on. And sometimes that can be hard because you genuinely might enjoy the experience, but it's just not the right one for you. Like the donut shop, I truly enjoyed working there. My bosses were great. They were great people. They just weren't good managers. Like it just is what it is. And the pay was horrible. I started off at 9 and they bumped me up to 10 by the time I was making my exit. I had already found a different job by the time they bumped me up to $10. So it was the signs. The signs were getting there, but then my plantar fasciitis was like, girl, you cannot keep working here and being on your feet. You're going to be paralyzed at some point. So these are just a few of the lessons that I am still actively learning through my 20s. Again, I'm 23. Next July, I will be 24. I hope that something that I've said here resonates with you wherever you are in your journey. If you're in your 20s, if you're about to be 20, if you're in your late 30s, your early 60s, whatever. It doesn't matter wherever you are in your journey. I just really hope that these have resonated with you. I'm so excited to freaking share this series with you, Navigating November, but also stick around and look out for some other series this month. I'm also so excited to share a lot of the insights that I have learned in my 20s throughout this series and just create a space where we can all navigate it all together. So if you enjoyed this video, please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of these new videos that I'm coming out with. Go ahead and leave a comment. It could be any comment, but I have a question for you guys. What are some things that you guys learned in your 20s or something that you're just actively learning right now? I'm so excited and I'm just so excited for this series. Thank you guys so much for watching, and here's to growing together. Bye guys.